Summary of the Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. The Joy Luck Club has 4 parts with 4 stories each, for a total of 16 stories. At the beginning of each part, a short tale presents a common theme that ties the 4 stories that follow together. Each of the 7 major characters tells a story, and all of these stories are linked together into a bigger story about the complicated and often misunderstood relationship between Chinese immigrant mothers and their American-born daughters. A few months after her mother Suyuan's sudden death, Jun Wu is asked to take her mother's place at a weekly mahjong game that has been going on between 4 friends for almost 40 years. The weekly gathering is called the Joy Luck Club, and Ying St. Clair and Mei Su and Lindo Zhang are also members. After fleeing from China to the United States during World War II, the 4 women met at a refugee center in San Francisco. They became close because they had all been through loss and had been able to keep going. During the Japanese attack of Kweilin, Suyuan was separated from her twin baby girls, which caused her a lot of pain. June doesn't know that Suyuan will keep looking for her 2 girls for the rest of her life. June is meant to fill in for her mother in the group of friends now that Suyuan is gone, but she feels like a child at the table of older women, especially when they talk about their own girls, who grew up with June. When the game night is over, the 3 older women tell June that Suyuan's twin girls have been found as adults in China. It is up to June to go to China and fulfill her mother's lifelong wish to bring the family back together. June fears that she doesn't know enough about her mother's past to talk to her long-lost half-sisters. Her mother strongly denies this. This strong denial shows that these women are afraid that their girls won't be able to talk about their Chinese backgrounds if they are asked. In the first part of the book, Mei, Lindo, and Ying talk about how their difficult childhoods in China changed the way they raised their own children. After her mother remarried in a shameful way, Mei was raised by her maternal grandma at first. When her mother comes back a few years later to take care of Mei's sick grandmother, she cuts off a piece of her own arm to make a medicine that might save her grandmother. Mei sees the sacrifice, which changes her idea of how much a mother loves her daughter. When Lindo is 2, a matchmaker sets up a marriage between her and Tianyu, a rich but spoiled boy. This sets the course of her life. When Lindo is 12, she moves in with Tianyu's family and is forced to work for Tianyu's cruel mother, Wang Tai. After she marries Tianyu, Lindo takes matters into her own hands and comes up with a plan to scare Wang Tai into breaking up the marriage. When Ying is only 4 years old, she falls off the boat her family is on during the Moon Festival and gets split from them. Soon, she sees the Moon Lady on a stage and thinks it's the goddess who gives wishes, just like her nanny told her. But when Ying goes to talk to the Moon Lady, she is shocked to find that the character is a guy dressed as a woman. Fear of being lost finally sets in, and at the end of her story, Ying says that she isn't sure if she was ever really found. In the second and third parts, Waverly Zhang, Rose Sue Jordan, Lena St. Clair, and June again tell the stories of their mothers. These stories talk about how they grew up with Chinese immigrant mothers and how the knowledge their moms taught them, which came from Chinese culture, shaped them as adults. Waverly is a chess genius before she turns 10, and she does her best when she has to compete. Still, she gets annoyed by her mother, Lindo, when she brags and pats herself on the back. They get into a fight, and Waverly quits chess out of shame. Waverly's love life as an adult shows that Lindo is still able to shake her confidence. Rose's stories are about how her mother, Mei, had faith to keep trying even when bad things happened. Rose's little brother drowns by accident while she is watching over him, and Mei tries to save him by praying to God and Chinese family spirits and giving them jewelry. Even though Mei's plan didn't work, it gave Rose the idea to take charge of her own life when she got divorced later. Lena remembers how scary it was that her mother, Ying, could foresee bad things happening, and she brings up the scary foresight about her mother's stillborn baby. Lena tries to translate between her suffering Chinese mother and her confused white father, but she can't get Ying's sadness across. This leaves Lena's mother sad and without help. Ying also says that Lena will marry a bad man, which later turns out to be true. Lena knows that a split is coming, but it takes Ying to help her see that her husband isn't helping her. June remembers that Su Yuan wanted to make her a child genius like Waverly, but in the end, it didn't work out. June has thought her mother thinks she's a failure for most of her life. That is, until Su Yuan throws a New Year's dinner party right before she dies. Waverly chooses the best whole crabs for her and her family to eat at the dinner that brings good luck for the next year. By the time June and Su Yuan get to the plate, there is only one perfect crab left. June tries to give Su Yuan a crab that isn't perfect because it's broken, but Su Yuan stops her. Later, Su Yuan tells June how kind she is when other people, like Waverly, only care about themselves. The last part of the book goes back to the mother's points of view and tries to bridge the gap between Chinese and American societies by giving answers that work for both. And May's mother controls what will happen to her daughter by using old superstitions to control her cruel husband. Her plan to kill herself takes into account both Chinese customs and a new sense of independence. In the same way, Ying sees herself as a Chinese tiger, even though its traits don't always show to others. The animal's strength helped Ying get through her life in China, and Ying thinks it can help Lena get through her breakup. Just because the idea is old-fashioned doesn't mean it doesn't apply to American problems. Lindo thinks about her daughter Waverly's upcoming wedding and how their lives have been similar, even though they grew up in different countries. In the last of the 16 stories, June goes to China to find her long-lost half-sisters. As soon as June steps off the plane in Shanghai, she feels more connected to the country and to her mother than ever before. When she finally meets her sisters, Chuanhua and Chuanyu, they all feel their mother's presence and show what real Chinese heritage is, a link to family and a larger cultural tradition that goes beyond place and time.
About the author. Amy Tan was born in Oakland, California, to Chinese immigrants John and Daisy Tan. When Tan was 15, her father and older brother both died. With her mother and younger brother, she moved to Switzerland. During this time, she found out that her mother's first husband in China was abusive and that she had to leave her 3 children in Shanghai. This family background gave her ideas for her first book, The Joy Luck Club, which was a bestseller and was later made into a movie. Other books, like The Kitchen God's Wife and The 100 Secret Senses, were also praised for how they showed family ties in a close way. Tan lives with her husband in Northern California, where she continues to write stories, diaries, and books for children.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.